Did you notice the superpower that's turned Puka Nacua into one of the league's best receivers? So, what is it that makes him so unique? Let's dig into it. Since arriving in Los Angeles, Nacua has been off to one of the most absurd starts for any receiver in NFL history. He needs just 200 more receiving yards to move into the top 4 all time in a player's first 3 seasons. Most of the other guys clustered toward the top of that list were first-round picks who came into their career with sky-high expectations. Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham, Randy Moss. As a 5th-round pick who burst onto the scene seemingly out of nowhere, Nacua wasn't supposed to be one of those guys, but his historically dominant start has been a perfect example of what happens when a special player gets dropped into a special situation. When trying to narrow down what defines Nacua as a player, it has to start with the rare physicality he brings to the position. At 6'2", 216 pounds, Nacua is built like a cross between a receiver and a tight end, and that size and strength unlocks several of the ways the Rams can use him within their offense. Nacua may not have the speed, refinement, or release game of some other elite receivers, but he makes up for his relative limitations by just bullying corners that try to challenge him. He consistently creates subtle separation near the line of scrimmage, even in one-on-one situations. His physical presence isn't just limited to pushing around 180-pound corners either. Nacua is a willing and excellent blocker for a receiver, and his talent in that area has driven some of the Rams' coolest offensive wrinkles over the past few seasons. Sean McVay and his staff have embraced downhill runs like duo since beginning their run game transformation in 2023, and they'll often use Puka as an insert blocker to handle slot defenders or safeties on these types of plays. It's because Nacua is such a viable threat in these situations that the Rams are able to so effectively build off the concept as a big part of their offense. Take these back-to-back plays from the Rams' Week 1 win over the Texans. Trying to run down the clock late in the 4th quarter, LA motions Nacua into the C-gap and has him lead up on slot defender Jalen Petrie on a duo run, identifiable by the multiple double teams created up front. On the next play, the Rams use the exact same motion and concept just before the snap, but instead of blocking Petrie, Nacua sells the block before snapping off a quick route to the flat. The result is a 24-yard game-winning reception that allows the Rams to kneel out the clock. Where players land coming into the NFL goes a long way in dictating the shapes their careers will take. And with the Rams staff in Los Angeles, Puka has an ideal environment to show off everything he can do as a player. It's a beautiful relationship. No team does a better job of marrying multiple ideas together within their offense. And no receiver in the league has the multifaceted skill set that Nacua does to bring those ideas to life. Take these 2 plays from the Rams' win over the Colts earlier this season. On this 3rd and 5 midway through the 2nd quarter, LA uses a quick out motion to make Nacua the #1 receiver just before the snap. He puts a nasty double move on cornerback Xavier Howard and hauls in a tough catch on a beautiful throw by Matthew Stafford down the left sideline. Later in the first half, the Rams use the same motion and formation on the 2nd and 16, but instead of sending Nacua vertical, they run a quick screen to the perimeter that picks up 17 yards. Nacua is an absolute beast with the ball in his hands. This season, only Jamar Chase has created more YAC than Nacua, who ranks 5th in YAC over expectation since coming into the league in 2023. Some of that production comes from Nacua's power as a runner, but it's also driven by his incredible balance in traffic. Other than Chase, there's no other player in the league who is better at making a catch and creating hidden yards than Nacua. His ability to stay grounded through the catch, no matter where he is on the field, is a rare gift few other receivers have. Check out this catch against the Cardinals. A one-hand stab in traffic, followed by Nacua dragging a safety for 4 more yards. Puka makes these plays look routine, and they show off the element of his game that truly sets him apart from nearly everyone else at the position. Puka Nacua is the most fearless receiver in football. The middle of the field isn't the viper pit it was in other areas of the NFL, but it still takes some courage to work that area of the field with little regard for the huge collisions that can still come your way. Nacua plays like those defenders don't exist. On throws into traffic, he never slows down, he never lets up, and he never flinches. It allows him to make play after play on in-breaking routes and gobble up that trademark YAC in the process. Nacua and McVay is a match made in schematic heaven, but the marriage between Nacua and Matthew Stafford is one of mindset. Stafford is willing to make any throw into any window at any time. And on the other end, he has a receiver willing to attack those throws with little regard for his own well-being. The Rams have turned into one of the league's most potent offenses, thanks to a receiver and a quarterback for whom no throws are off the table. There's an audacity to Nacua's game that we just don't see from wideouts very often, and it's made him into one of the most special players in football. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, check out our latest piece on how Drake May has become an MVP candidate. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know what you'd like to see next in the comments below.